addicted to your devil's kiss and you. What do I do? I know I must break free before I lose the best of me. And this living purgatory, tempted by a devil's kiss, promising unending bliss, drag me into abyss. I've got news for you. I'm ready for something.
That's right, we're all ready for something new. Let's get started on the stream today. We are back to our future scene. We are about to kick it off and get ready. Now, I want to give a special shout out tonight to Amaya. She just got out of her surgery and still managed to show up for the stream. So thank you, Amaya. You are such a sweetheart, and we will be praying for you during the stream. Just know that you are in our prayers. We're dedicating this to you. And we are hoping for a full recovery, no infections, no problems, and everything to turn out well. I don't know what the surgery was, so I don't know what it was supposed to accomplish, but my prayer is that it did exactly what it needed to. Now, last week, we began working on our little figure here, so I'm going to zoom in. And we were trying to decide. We had decided the hair was red and silver. We were going to decide the clothing for our friend here. And hey, Ubi, good to see you. As always, we had some nice dinner. I had baked some chicken and potatoes, and so we've eaten a nice, comfy dinner, which, on second thought, may not have been the best idea before stream, but hey. Alright, so I'm gonna grab that, because I think we decided we wanted... I don't know what we wanted to do with the clothes. I don't remember. We'll just punt. We'll figure it out as we go. You know what? I like the idea of it being the 80s colors. The incredible neon stupidity. Don't get me wrong. I love me some 80s, but man, did we have a incredibly interesting tastes in clothing and everything else back then. I don't know who was running the fashion shows, but man, they needed a talking to. I gotta figure out why it's not showing me all the options. There we go. Oh yeah, that's smudging. Shadows. The shadow nose. Or maybe I'll do the green from the sludge. That might not be a bad idea. What do you guys think? What do you think I should do for colors? Pink and green. We can do pink and green outrageous colors for the outfit. We could do... black, and what else have we got going on in here? Ooh, yeah, that electric blue. I kind of like that. Got a lot of color options. Or the alien gold. I'll leave it there. We'll give you those three, and if you want something else, just type it in chat. I'm not going to be offended. I promise. Y'all stream. I'm just here for the fun. Here for the practice. Here for the show. Got one vote for gold and silver. Give me some more votes, folks. Give me some more votes. You know you gotta. And remember, they got that red and silver hair, so. Gotta make it look good with that. And still stand out on that bathroom. That figure is the smallest thing in the picture, so. Do 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 do. Ooh, got a tie. Electric blue and black and gold and silver. Might be able to work both in. We'll look at that. Those are not exactly colors that would compete with one another, so that's nice. All right. It's an interesting dilemma. Let's see what our figure might be wearing. I like the idea of like broad shoulder pads because you know that was such a big 80s thing. Stupid. All right, so we're gonna go with blacking out part of it first. And I want to make sure that I have the brush set to small enough size that we can sketch it out without, you know what, we'll switch over here to pencil first. Drop that out to small size. Smaller. And then we'll sketch out what we want to do. Yep. Okay, well, you know, when it decides to cooperate. There we go. We're gonna put a box around our little figure to represent the shoulder area. And then underneath the shoulder, kind of this tapered waist. We haven't figured out whether they're a guy or a gal, but we want to know what direction they're pointing. I'll just say it's a girl. Because, you know, hey. I guess I could let you guys decide. Maybe it's genderless. After all, this is the future. And maybe I'm looking at that and realizing we need to rework that a little bit. Oh, it was a good start. It's got too much butt. We need to remember. Okay, so we're going to make some marks so I can line up what I know. Okay, so that is where the butt is ending. That is the legs. That is probably the waist right there. Back. Shoulders. And now we're good. Well, you know, it could be. Alright. Hey, Boomer, good to see you. Speaking of, Pookie, where'd she run off to? She out there getting our Debbie snacks. Now we gotta taper that waist in. Ooh. Erase some of those extras. Yeah, there I am. Here I am to save the day. Mighty Mouse. Oh, wait. Not quite Mighty Mouse. Maybe I could be. Let's see about that. Oh, right now I am putting an outfit on this little figure and kind of figuring out the proportions and where everything's placed. That's what I'm doing right now. And you're not sure what she's up to, okay. She might be getting dinner. I won't hold it against her that she's not here. She's forgiven. If there's dinner involved, there is so much forgiveness. I can totally relate to wanting dinner. I will say these are boots. You know, maybe they're just future. What will be the future without boots? Can't have. Okay, so we got a future figure standing there, and that's kind of where the outfit's gonna go. I'm gonna relabel that to the outfit outline. And then I'm gonna drop a layer underneath that so the outline stays on top. And I can see exactly what I'm doing. Hey, kitty cat! Good to see you. We are working on a futuristic scene. And we have decided that this figure is wearing black and gold and possibly neon blue to match that stuff up ahead. I'm going to lay down layers of black. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to pop that blue first. And then we'll decide where exactly the gold fits in. So I kind of like the blue will make it easier to see anyway. It'll attract some attention. And then the black and the gold will just seal that deal for us. We'll put some black across, or some blue across the shoulders, some blue boots. Hey, Tom, good to see you. Oh, no worries. No worries, I totally understand. And maybe a gold skirt is what she's wearing that's gold. Okay. So let's go up here and grab our aliens gold. Right? Because that's kind of where we're getting our gold from. So we'll grab that. And we'll drop that into the skirt. And we'll drop some black in there with it. Maybe she's wearing gold lace? No? Let's see. Kind of take away a little bit of that. Because it's going to run into where the rooftop is. There we go. We'll just delete that part. Now for We got the gold lay, we got the black. We want some black in there. It's not a particular person, it's just a figure to kind of give the drawing some life and some perspective, if that makes sense. It's kind of draw the eye of the viewer to looking at the landscape through the lens of life, if you will. We're about to give a little more of the neon flare to this. All right, so I'm going to drop the outline now that I have the basics in place. And we'll go ahead and go full up on getting the detail work done for the figure. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can really see the details of what I'm doing. And that's her shoulders, right beneath the hair. Actually, I'm going to fill in with that darker blue, and then I'll come back with the neon. We'll layer that in. Changed my mind a little bit about how I wanted to approach it. Yeah, it's not a particular person. It's just a rando, if you will. We get to do that here. We get to drop random things in. Things that might not make sense, but it gives a feeling of life, so. Eraser tool, there we go. We want to make that eraser very small, so we're not taking away too much detail at any one time. Yep. Bring back. Do do do. The goal is to have people, when they look at this drawing, be able to imagine themselves in it, so we don't want to give too much detail to the figure. We just want to give, the figure serves to give us an idea of the scale of the world in which the figure lives. So that's one of the purposes it serves, is to kind of tell us how big this world is, especially in comparison to her. And then we can kind of fiddle around, use mount a little bit. I need to grab more of the electric blues. So we kind of want to make her look a little bit like those gateway gems. It ties those things together, and that's really good. She'll look kind of neon there. All right, we can come back in with the darker blue. Hair down to his toes. That's true. You know what? The only way to get better, there's two ways you get better at drawing the backgrounds. The first way is to go look at other people and learn from them, which is part of what I did. You know, kind of study up on what they're doing, and if you can find tutorials on quick, fast, dirty ways to do good backgrounds, that's really helpful. And then the second way is to just keep doing it until you get better at it, until you get ideas coming through that you like, and you kind of develop your own style of how you do it. And if you'll do that, you'll kind of develop your own artistic vision and artistic voice, if you will. And then your paintings become yours. You don't have to rely so much on other people and what they do. But yeah, the best way is to go see what other people are doing and how they're doing it, so you have something to rely on. We're going to turn off her hair for a moment just so I can see how this plays up on her neck. And we'll give that more of that neon feel. Really blend that in there. It's pretty wild. I've not always been very good at backgrounds either. I've not actually always been good at figure drawing. In fact, figure drawing has been a challenge for me. Over this year, I've done more of it, so I'm getting a little better. But it's always been a bit of a challenge for me. The proportions usually are kind of a little off. But you only get better by continuing to practice, continuing to try, and continuing to learn. There's one thing I will say about art is give it your best today and count on your ability to do it better tomorrow. That's okay. Thank you, Linda. Oh, no worries. Just darken that area. Pops the lighter blue even more. Goodbye. Creator, who brought the treasures of your wisdom, how established the hierarchies of pictures, of a rhythm and marvelous order, above the fiery heavens, and have marshaled the regions of the universe with such awful skill. You are proclaim the true font of light and wisdom, and the primal virgin raised high beyond all things. Over the ray of your brightness into the darkened places of my mind. Disperse from my soul the terrible darkness into which I was born, sin and ignorance. You make eloquent the tongues of infants, refine my speech, and put forth the from my lips the goodness of your blessing. Grant to me goodness of mind, capacity to remember, skill and learning, subtlety to interpret, and eloquence and sweet. May you guide the beginning of my work, direct its progress, and bring it to completion. You are true God, true God, believe and reign, and with that wind amen. Amen. Yes, indeed. It's one of my favorite things to sing, especially when I'm working on art or writing, creative anything, really. And we're going to do the same kind of treatment to this skirt that we were doing earlier, which is I'm going to put some darks in there and give some volume. Woo! So how is everyone? How is life treating y'all? Hopefully it is going well. And if not, well, let me know and we can definitely pray over it. You will hide in the shadow of light. Say to the Lord, near reach, my rock and my trust. He will raise you up, eagle's wings, bear you on, breath of dawn. Make you to shine like the sun, burning of the palm of his hand. You need not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day. The thousands fall about me, near you it shall not come. Thank you very much, Boomer. Raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and fall through in the palm of his hand. The snare of the Father will never capture. Sorry, I get a little choked up sometimes. The snare of the Father will never capture you, and Father will bring you no grief. Under those wings your refuge. His faithfulness, your shield. When the raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand. For to his angels he's given the command to guard you in all of your ways. On their hands they will bear you, lest you dash your foot against a stone. Raise you up, eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand. I loved that song when I was a kid. And life was a very, very not happy. Always made me feel better. Some people think it's not so great, but I loved it. And I don't have to care what other people think. Hey, Pookie! Good to see you. Ah, no worries. Oh, yeah, setting up your meds for the week. That does take a while. Can anyway. I mean, I'm not there yet, but that doesn't mean I can't get there. Do you have us some little Debbies? You know, you're due some for making us wait for you. That's the penalty, right? Little Debbie penalty. All right, now let's get back to the black. Back in black. Yeah. Back to the black. Well, she's not your typical skinny mini here, but I don't mind. She doesn't have to be. Let's turn her hair back on and see how that goes. Yeah. Nice. Space Spooky waiting on her special Little Debbie delivery. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. See? She's waiting for the aliens to deliver her the space. her space Debbies. Those are the ones with the silver Twinkie packaging for sure. Now we gotta decide what her arms are doing. I think she's pointing at the spaceship. So, make that happen. We can. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Oh, can you see into my eyes like open doors, leading you down to my door, where the big so long without a soul. Your spirit's leaving somewhere cold until you find it there and lead me back home. Wake me up inside, wake me up inside. Oh, my name and save me from the dark. When I put you on, oh, come on, save me from the nothing that become, bring me to life. Oh, you're trying to hit your right, huh? Save me, bring me lost inside without your touch, without love, darling, only you are alive among the dead. That arm doesn't look right. Oh, at the start, I can't believe I couldn't see. Kept in the dark, but you were there in front of me. I've been sleeping for 1,000 years, it seems. But you opened my eyes to everything. Don't let me die here. There's gotta be something more. Bring me to life. Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside. Call my name and save me from the dark. Give my blood to one, for I come down. Save me from the nothing that become, bring me to life. Save me, bring me to life. All right, let's zoom back in and see if we can fix this so it looks better. I don't know why I'm so singing tonight, but it's okay. I know I have a decent voice, so I don't think you guys will mind too much if I sing on stream. Sometimes it's probably more, at least more entertaining than watching paint dry. Alright. That's part of why. Because it doesn't quite fit. There we go. And we maybe need to shorten that. Alright, let's take a look. Well, my father and stepmother would tell you that they met on board the alien spaceship that abducted them both when they were just 12 years old. And then they began to dream about one another, even though they'd never met in person. Until they at last met one another after my father returned home from Texas in the 1980s. And they lived till death did they part. Now, mind you, she was not particular about how that death had to happen. She did actually end up killing him. But it was a till death do you part situation. Not quite sure if that's how I'd want to go, but hey. She ended up locking him in a room with prison bars on the window. Yeah. Apparently, the alien dating delivery system is not the everything it's cracked up to be. 0 stars, would not recommend. It's possible that if you meet on board the spaceship, you should stay very, very far away from one another. Those dreams may be warnings, not encouragement. Yeah, they both had a few mental health challenges. I don't know what was on her mind that day. No, she did not put him in the wood chipper. The weird thing, she locked him in a prison bar with windows, or she locked him in a room with prison bars on the windows, starved him to death. And when the guy who was supposed to have been checking up on my dad showed up to check on him, just days too late, obviously, but she had just left him in that room under some covers, lied and said he'd been taken to the VA hospital, but she'd ripped the phones out of the walls. She tended to do that when she was about to go on a bender. And I don't mean a bender like drinking or something. She would just lose her mind for a while. But yeah. And that is how my daddy met his end. Like I said, if you meet somebody on board an alien spaceship and then you start dreaming about them, that may not be the person you're meant to date. That may be a warning. Stay very, very far away from them. Just saying. There are ways to go and there are ways to go, and I definitely wouldn't want that way to go. No, no, I sure wasn't. That is literally how my dad died. I know, it's pretty unbelievable. My dad's life in general is pretty unbelievable. I mean, he and my mom met in a psychiatric ward. I don't know if that tells you what that tells you about my parents. She knew what he had. He was a paranoid schizophrenic. She just thought she could fix that. I don't know. Who looks at a paranoid schizophrenic and thinks to themselves, I can fix that? But my mom apparently did. No sane person does that, but my mom did. And then it took her about 3 years to figure out, nope, that's more crazy than I can fix. She couldn't even fix her own crazy. I love her, but jeez Louise. I definitely would not recommend taking dating advice from her. Or at least that's not fair. She's improved, I'm sure. Yeah. You never know what somebody's gonna do. These proportions feel so off, but that has always been my challenge, is getting the figure drawing proportions just right to feel, to be the way I want them to. You just beat a little. Yeah, don't give the woman ideas and then be surprised when she uses them. I'm just saying. I think that was that comedian, one of the comedians we were listening to was telling him about the fact that his stepdad ended up getting shot by his mother after he taught her to use a gun and then decided to go beat up on her. I don't know how bright you gotta be to do something like that. Sounds pretty near suicidal. That's like begging somebody to take you out of this world. Here, pick me. Well, Pookie, it is difficult dealing with people with mental issues, but to be fair, I come from a very long line of crazy on both sides of the family. I just think only one side knew it. The other side was just as crazy, but didn't have any clue that they were. They thought they were normal. Like, yeah, no. Y'all had your own special issues. I think we're all a little crazy, though, to be fair. We've all got a little bit of crazy in us. It's just how good we are at hiding it. It's so funny. I had this therapist I went to see one time. She had me for like 3 or 4 sessions, and she looks at me and she goes, "How did you come out so normal out of all that?" And I laughed and I said, "Well, I didn't." I mean, actually, at the time, I didn't know what to say, but the truth of the matter is, I didn't come out normal. I just became a writer. I found a way to funnel that crazy into something productive. Doesn't make me normal. Just means that I get paid to be as psychotic as I want to be. I joke that, writers are one of the few socially acceptable forms of schizophrenia there are. As long as we put the voices in our head on the page and entertain other people with them, nobody minds. Even when those voices are dark, scary things. Yes, I do have voices in my head that want to kill other people. The trick is, I demand that they put that stuff on the page, and I don't let it pass the page. Some people seem to have a problem with that. She looks like a little rocker, for sure. Kind of like the figure. I mean, I'm not overly thrilled with its shape. There are things I think are wrong with it. I just can't quite pinpoint what it is. I'll fool around with it, figure it out eventually. That's the thing about watching me draw. You will see me make mistakes live for the camera. I am not afraid to embrace my suck, that is for sure. Give that a bear hug. Alright, is that gonna work? Oh, I see what's going on. Actually, yeah, I kind of did fix it. I just have the layer underneath screwing me up. Okay, good. Now that I've got that, I can see what's going on. Okay, we're all right. We're fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Now we get to put some skin tone in there. She's a redhead, which usually means pale. I mean, we could choose anything we want, but we could choose alien green. I don't care. No particular preference. Yes, the written page is the best place for all crazy. You know, nobody holds it against you if you got serial killers on the page. They do sort of hold it against you if you let those things out in the loose. They do tend to frown on that in this establishment. You know, you're not supposed to be running around letting the voices in your head actually kill people. There we go. That's better. I don't know. Have to turn off the hair and see. But I do like the hand. The hand's doing good. We need to put some details on this. A song is a good place too. Yes, that's true. Songs work well for venting emotions that are socially unacceptable. Or thoughts, rather. It's not so much the emotions that cause problems, it's the thoughts that accompany them. Okay, let's turn off the hair and see about the face. Question is, how much of the face would we be able to see based on how much hair we've got and what all we've got going on? Is the hair facing in the right direction? That's another good question. If no, we need to change that. Okay, put in some details. Now let's put the hair back on and see what we got. So yeah, first of all, the hair's in the wrong direction, which is why it looks weird. I'm gonna take that and bring it up and maybe skew it, but for now, I'm gonna pull it to the side. You haven't written it yet? Well, that is true. It's hard to know what it's about if you're not yet written it. I'm gonna outline that face. Boom. Some of that red. Give it some more hair. Hair today, goon tomorrow. Bump that up. Mm-mm. Not that much. Too much. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the hair. So we're not distracted by that. I should have done that probably first, but I didn't think to. Would have made it easier to shape the hair properly. Back in with these darks. Now I'll fill it with the light. Hard to believe, but we are only 10 minutes away from being done with today's episode of Watch Brandy Draw. No, just kidding. And learn the drama of Brandy's family. There is so much drama. So much drama. I used to joke that I would literally be able to write a soap opera out of my family's real story, but nobody would buy it. Nobody would believe that that much crap happened to one family. They'd be like, oh no, that couldn't be real. That's not realistic. I don't believe that. I don't know if y'all remember or watched the whole song, gloom, despair, and agony on me. Deep, dark depression, excessive misery. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Gloom, despair, and agony on me. I think that should have been my family's theme song. We're all a little crazy around here. It does give me some unique insights, though, into how the mind works. Well, this is a lot sloppy, but we'll clean it up. Zoom in here. Get her more defined. And of course, she's all alone, so she's going to be the only one that saw that alien, and nobody else is going to believe her. That's the heck of it, right? Being that abductee that is the only one who saw the stinking alien. Nobody ever believes you. I do have a theory about things, though. I think sometimes people don't start off crazy. Like, maybe they have abilities that we don't. And it's being around all these people telling them that they're wrong about seeing what they see or hearing what they hear that drives them crazy. Because can you imagine that? If you're like the only person in the world who can see color, how crazy would it make you being told constantly by other people that no, what you're seeing isn't real, even though it actually is? Maybe we make people crazy. Yeah, that tends to happen. We'll put the hair back on it a little bit. I just want to have a good idea of where the head's turned. Because the last time I put hair on without doing this first, and then it all went crazy. Well, we could change it to a mohawk. Little tufts of hair at the bottom look like Gollum. Oh my. I doubt that. But I can understand. Probably felt like that. You know, that's one of those things I haven't had to go through yet, but I can imagine. Okay. Now we know where the head's turned and the eye shapes are. Alright, let's put the hair back on. See that mop? It just doesn't look right. But the hair color's right, so. Alright. We got about 5 minutes to work on this. It's too much. Do the undercoat real quick. Come back in with some top levels and highlights. And maybe we'll do a ponytail this time around. Oh, and I should give her some eyebrows. I don't really like that shape right there. But that's the advantage of being the artist. I get to kind of smudge things around and make them up. Oh, it would help. They're on the right layer. Yes. Well, we'll fix it as we go. It's going to get a little better here and a little better there until we're happy with it. And if we don't like it, we always have the magic eraser. That's the joy of art. We can erase, we can restart, we can redo, we can have happy little accidents, as our friend Bob Ross would say. But regardless of what we choose to do, it is almost time for us to wrap up, because Ubi's show is next. And after a week, we've all missed him. I know you guys are happy to have him back. And I know I'm happy to have him back too. Alright. So I am gonna go ahead and save for tonight. Plasma Jam at the moment. Alright. File. Save as. We'll save this week's contribution as the 17th. You guys, we have been working on this for 4 weeks now. Amazing. Alright. Exit out of that. File export. I'm going to turn off that hair layer. Pardon me. There we go. Export JPEG. And see you guys in about 15 minutes for Ubi's show. Y'all have a great